Good morning and a very warm welcome to all my dear enthusiastic students who are my viewers for today for yet another enlightening session on certain tips on how to manage your exam. And I'm sure you had joined me 2 weeks back on my previous session on how to overcome your stress for exam. Now, if that was really useful to you, and if you were sincere and if you are very consistently following those tips, then you are almost 50% onto your success for your exam. And today I'm taking into the session of what you would be experiencing inside your exam for 3 hours that you'll be writing or attempting, and how you should be stress-free there, as well as attempt as many questions with maximum accuracy of success and less of negative marking. So again, my sincere request would be to sincerely follow these tips with a lot of sincerity and consistency, and definitely success will be at your doorstep. With that, my dear students, I, Vineetha Anil, once again before you, very happy to be presenting to you and sharing my experiences as an educationist and as a principal for the past 23 years with you on certain time management tips, which has helped my students throughout all these years. So I'm reaching out to all of you today. My objectives with you at the end of 1 hour is that you should have understood the techniques to remain calm and composed. You should have also understood how to complete the paper in time and accurately. When I'm saying accurately, more of correct questions and hardly any mistakes. Best techniques to attempt the paper within the shortest time possible, so that you have extra time in hand to review your paper to increase the accuracy, and enhancing the success quotient with confidence. You must be prepared already for your exams, and based on whatever you have followed from the previous tips, you would be well prepared. Yet when it comes to exams, I agree, we are all anxious. Even though you're well prepared, you're still very anxious about what the paper will be in store for you. And you would also be worried, will I be able to complete my paper on time? So today, let's go through the entire tidbits on how you would manage yourself during your 3 hours, remaining calm, composed, bringing out all that you have studied onto your preparation, onto your performance today, as well as managing your time. So don't worry, follow my tips, and you would see that you're reaching your success quotient at a faster rate within a shorter speed of time. Now, first, I would be starting off with tips for your board exams. This can be followed by either 10th grade or 12th grade students, because the system to follow is the same throughout. Across the country, these are the general tips. You will be getting the first 15 minutes of grace time once you get into the exam hall and the exam time starts. The question paper is given to you so that you can go through it thoroughly. When I say thoroughly, you would have to check the paper in a manner to check the order of questions, check whether any question numbers are missing, whether there's any printing error, whether there are any questions itself missing in the process of printing, whether it has not come out properly for you. Some pages might be missing if it's a booklet sort of a question paper. So check everything thoroughly. As you're checking this, also take your time, because you have 15 minutes. Go through the questions in every section of your question paper so that you are able to have a clear plan in your mind at the end of that first 15 minutes itself on how you would be attempting your paper. that clear plan in the first 15 minutes itself is a time saver for you, provided you follow this very strictly. I'm telling you again, my dear students, I have noticed the best of students who have messed up the paper towards the end only because they did not follow these tips. That mid-exam anxiety, stress can be easily avoided if you're well prepared in the 10-15 minutes. Keep everything done in mind, on paper, everywhere, and then you would find that your exam is moving smoothly. What do we do? Once you have checked that and you found your question paper is fine, you've almost made a clear plan in your mind on how to go about with your paper. First, let me tell you, there is no specific order to attempt your paper. No specific order when I'm saying subject to subject, you can follow any pattern. Section A, Section B, Section C, Sections D, and so on. There is no hard and fast rule that I have to start my paper with Section A only or Section D and backwards. Because ultimately, on the day you write your exam, when you see your paper, you would find that probably Section B or Section C has more easy questions which is known to you than Section A and Section D. So don't follow a specific pattern. The first 15 minutes when I said make a clear plan in your mind, what I meant was that is the time when you're reading the questions, you find that there's a particular section in which you have the majority of the questions which are easy and known to you. Decide in your mind that that is the first section that you would be attempting. So don't follow a specific order of answering the question paper. So start with a section where majority of the questions are easy and known to you. Advantage, your mind relaxes because the flow of your answers is coming out very easily and at a faster pace. So you're relaxed, you're less anxious, you're able to finish your paper, your number of questions faster. So the ultimate result is overall, you're saving your time. There could be 1 or 2 questions in that section, which might be a little difficult for you. Never mind. Leave space because you know the weightage of marks. You know how much you have to probably write for that much of marks. Leave that much of space for unsure or unattempted answers and move on to the next session where you found the majority of the questions to be easier again. So that way you would have completed majority of your paper with more confidence, with more accuracy, with more perfection. And then after you have completed all the sections, leaving space for the unattempted, unsure answers, then you come back and you start attempting. Now, how do I know? How do I identify at that point in time? Because I'm left with lesser time, but yet I have saved time. I need to complete the rest of the unattempted questions. Now, as per the board rules, you're not supposed to be writing anything on the question paper, my dear students. Please remember, avoid writing anything because that is considered as unethical. But let me give you a small tip there. Use a pencil and put a light mark which is visible to you against the question number on your question paper so that you would be able to quickly identify in each of these sections what is that question that you would have to attempt now, which you had left it out earlier. So again, you are able to save time. So allot time to each of these questions based upon the weightage of marks. Do not go extensively. My next tip is answer your questions in points. Your answer should be in points with your key words present in your answer based on what is asked in the question. Do not go too extensively. For a 2-marker question, you need not be writing pages and pages. That is where most of the best students have lost their time. Identify the key word that is asked in the question and stick on to that and maintain your length of your answer to that level so that you are able to answer the question precisely, accurately, and yet save time. Except in languages, I would suggest answering questions in points is not acceptable as per the board rules. But all other subjects, this is for general students, as I said, for 10th and 12th, across the country, across any board, you can write your answers in points, be it for science or social science. Okay? And when you have done all this, you would find that sometimes you're even getting more than half an hour for your paper at the end. Or at the most, very, very positively, definitely 15 minutes more would be there in your hand to have a complete look at your paper, calmly, peacefully, word after word, underline the keywords, highlight your answers, check on your question numbers whether you have numbered it correctly, check on your sections whether you have numbered it correctly or written it correctly on your answer sheets, so on and so forth, and making sure you have attempted everything. Now, let me tell you something here, dear students. Board exams do not have negative marking. So please do not leave any question unattempted. At least towards the end, the most difficult, unsure question. Make sure you write something related to the topic in that question in your answer sheet. The reason being, if there is something relevant, you would be getting a better percentage with at least a half a mark, 1 mark, 3/4, or even 2 marks. That will be your saving grace. So for board exams, please do not leave any question unattempted because there is no negative marking. So attempt your entire paper at the end of 15 minutes. You should be really sure that everything has gone smoothly, provided you have followed the tips of my first 15 minutes and then you would have saved time for all these activities. Now, moving on to the most awaited competitive exams that all my dear students are preparing for now. This year, pandemic of COVID-19 has actually shaken all of us up with our classes coming online, gradually now starting regular face-to-face classes, physical classes. But yet, the teaching and learning has not been as satisfactory as it used to be till the last year. But the saving grace is that our government and our education department has definitely looked at doing something more which is beneficial for our students. So this year, JEE main exams would be conducted in 4 sessions in the month of February, March, April, and May. So you get 4 chances to perform well over and over and over again. And look at the expertise that you would get in maximizing your accuracy or scoring your rank. And the best part is the best marks or the best total or the best rank out of the 4 would be taken into consideration for your admission process. Aren't we at a benefit? That itself should give us most of the confidence because it is all in our favor. I'm already quite prepared with these tips, how to prepare for my exams, how to overcome stress. I'm already sort of prepared for it. I'm ready for my February exam. But probably certain things goes a little up and down. Never mind. I analyze from those mistakes and I'm ready for a better performance in March. I still give it a try in April, and who knows, May can be a blockbuster for me. So, my first tip over there is, remember to be successful, you need to be consistent and there should be continuous hard work. Without consistent and continuous hard work, there has been no person on the surface of earth who has achieved success. So, I'm sure all of you who are aiming to get into JEE already would have started for your board exam preparation, JEE preparation, would be consistently performing and working hard on a day-to-day basis with the proper timetable, the way I had told you in my previous session, and that is happening with consistent, continuous hard work. The result, your mindset will be cool. You'll be self-motivated because you realize that you are so well prepared. You feel the confidence coming from within you. And let me tell you, my dear students, the success, the consistent hard work leads to a cool mindset and keeps you self-motivated. And it is vice versa too. When you are cool, when you're self-motivated to achieve something in your life and prove it to the world that you're worth a lot, then you automatically start doing a lot of consistent, continuous hard work. So they are interrelated. And as I already told you, if you take my tips on how to overcome stress of exams from my previous session, which the video is available on our buddi platform, watch it, follow it tip after tip, then you would realize that most of your stress is gone and you're really cool, ready to face your exam. And what is our aim in our exam? Aim at accuracy, maximum number of correct answers within the short period of time. So if you aim at it, every attempt of your exam starting from February to May, then you're sure to get a wonderful, outstanding rank. To continue my tips for JEE exam, the most important thing, as I told you, for board exams, there is no specific order, because when you get your question paper, you would realize at that point in time, some sections have easier questions, which is easy for you, and some sections have a little more difficult questions. So for board exams, there is no specific order, but for JEE, means when you're writing it, preferably follow this order. It has helped many. It is from the experiences of many of your seniors that I'm talking to you. Start with chemistry, move on to physics, and then to maths. Now you'll ask me reason why. The first reason, out of your 25 questions that you have to attempt in chemistry, you will see more often, usually, almost 13 to 15 questions will be more theoretical and hardly requires any calculation. So chemistry is more theoretical. So the moment you have solved that many questions faster, your mind becomes relaxed, you're feeling more confident, you feel so good about yourself. There's a lot of positivity that runs into you, and most importantly, you have completed so many questions accurately within a short period of time. Move on to physics next, because there are certain questions which can be theoretical and which need not require some calculations. Approximately, I'm just giving an approximate number. It can go up and it can go down in every year's exam, but approximately they maintain this range of at least 8 to 10 questions that would be there theoretically, which does not require calculation. So your answers comes in a jiffy for you. Then move on to maths. In math, it will require calculation, but easier calculations for some of the first few questions. Finish off that. And then come back to your second round of chemistry, physics, and math. So let your order be strictly followed. Attempt it in the order of chemistry, physics, and math. And how? Complete the easy questions first, because you're not supposed to give more than 1 or maximum 1.5 minutes for each question. Remember, as much as possible, 1 or worst case scenario, 1.5, that is 1.5 minutes for a question. Do not spend too much time on a question, because the clock is ticking away and you would lose your time. So that is why I suggested start with easy questions in the order of chemistry, physics, and then math. So basically, we would be dividing our question paper into 3 categories. You would have a certain few questions which are very comfortable and very easy for you. Attempt that in the first round, starting from chemistry, moving on to very easy and comfortable questions in physics, and then in math. Then you have the second category, which is less comfortable questions. And the third, very difficult. But that depends on the caliber of each one of us. It need not be necessarily difficult for everybody. It need not be necessarily easy for everybody. So that depends from person to person, your preparation, and much more. Let's not get into that. But definitely, every student would have these 3 categories of questions. So divide your paper and start attempting it in that order. Follow and practice and adhere to that pattern, as I said, starting with chemistry, moving on to physics, and moving on to math. In chemistry, start off with the quick and easy questions. As I said, we're dividing the paper into 3. Very comfortable and very easy questions first. So you'll find that you have, out of 25, you're sometimes even able to answer 18 to 20 or even 22 questions. What a wonderful time it is that you have saved yourself from a lot more difficult questions that you probably might find in physics and later on in math as well. So complete that. Then move on to the very easy and very comfortable questions in physics. Approximately, I'm telling you, around 14 to 18 should be there if your preparation was up to the mark. So your accuracy is better and better. When I'm saying accuracy, your percentage of having scored correct marks, full marks for your correct answers is higher now because you're confident about your answers. Then move on to the very comfortable and easy calculation questions in math. And as and when you solve this, automatically, since it's online, you will find that a green panel would light up against the questions which you have already attempted, indicating to you and making things easy for you that these have already been attempted under chemistry, under physics, and under math. So this should be your first thing. Continuing. Now we have the second type of questions that is less comfortable for us. When I'm saying less comfortable, it need not be that it is difficult. It might be that we're taking time to read the question or solve the question or understand the question a little more to know the exact accurate answer. So that would be taken as a second step. So attempt those questions again in the order of first chemistry, then less comfortable questions in physics, and less comfortable questions in math. When in the first attempt, when you were attempting the very easy questions, when you came across a question which is less easy or less comfortable, make sure that you mark it for review. So a panel for review button would come there. So it will indicate to you that these were the questions that is actually a little comfortable to you when compared to the very easy questions. So it saves time for you to come back to those questions much faster. The reason being, since it is online, the moment you do not attempt a question and move on to another question, there's a red panel that will appear against the question which is unattempted. So leave those type of questions which are very, very, very difficult, the third pattern of questions, where the red panel would appear. But the ones which you are less comfortable are probably finding it a less easy when compared to the first set, mark it for review. So that mark would immediately save your time to come back to those questions first and then to the red panel questions next. Now, when I'm saying red panel questions, they are the extremely difficult questions. But let me tell you, now those extremely difficult questions might start looking easy for you because you're more relaxed. You have attempted the very, very easy questions and attained a lot of accuracy in the first round in chemistry, physics, and math. Then you have gone your second round and got maximum accuracy in chemistry, physics, and math when you went into your less comfortable questions and answered it. So you're feeling more confident, you're more relaxed, your mind is much more accepted into the exam pattern. Now try to read those questions because you have time, you have saved your time when you went in this process. You're not running short of time. Go through those red panel questions, which was marked as unattempted or very, very difficult according to you. And sometimes miracles do happen that when you read those questions with a much more calmer mind, halfway through the exam, you're finding answers coming up to your mind at a faster pace. Attempt it. But let me tell you, my dear students, unlike in the board exam, I had advised you, attempt all the questions, do not leave anything unattempted because there is no negative marking in board exams. But in your JEE mains, my suggestion to you would be, please avoid questions for which you have no idea of the answer at all, because you would be lowering your success rate if you attempt it, because you would be getting negative marking of -1 for every wrong answer. So all the marks that you have scored with accuracy in the very easy and less comfortable questions would lose its ranking, because every wrong answer is leading to a -1. So unless and until you're really sure of the answers, please do not attempt it. So at least the accuracy of the first two category of questions can be achieved in your ranking. Now, hoping that my JEE students have benefited from that, and any more questions can also be addressed at a later date if you post it into your platform, buddy platform, which can be addressed by me or any of your subject experts. Moving on to tips for the NEET exam, our future doctors. As you're preparing for your exam, now this is going to be a physical exam, which you would be sitting in an exam hall and writing. So that is what I meant, whereas JEE is an online exam. So you would have to prepare a lot on the basis of previous year's question papers to get a feel and touch of how you would be attempting your paper for those 3 hours when you're sitting down for your exam. So my suggestion, while you're preparing for your exam, the last few weeks should be not on learning anything new. Revise the tough topics which you've learned, but revise them so that you're not forgetting. And make sure you're attempting minimum 5 to 6 previous year's question paper. When I say PYQP, it is previous year's question paper. And when you're attempting it, take it seriously and in a disciplined manner, just the way you would be writing your exam. Meaning, you would shut the door, keep yourself away from all other gadgets, take your question paper. You also get your OMR sheets, which is available to you easily. Keep it in front of you. Sit solid on that for 3 hours continuously, assuming that you're in the exam hall, and complete a paper that way. This would give you a feel of what you would experience in the exam. You can self-analyze your own performance, what went wrong, what came up your mind, and work on it much before the exam, which is going to benefit you when you're actually writing your exam. So if you take this tip seriously, success is definitely going to be yours in the exam. So attempt 5 to 6 previous year's question papers with a lot of sincerity, discipline, just the way you would write your exam. It builds your self-confidence, increases your calmness, and also increases your accuracy. Why it increases your accuracy? Let me tell you. Every time you attempt one previous year question paper, at the end of the 3 hours, after which you have marked your OMR, you're analyzing it. If you're doing it sincerely, let me tell you, consistency and sincerity is a must for anybody to succeed, not only for you students, for any of us. So if you do a true analysis, you would find that you have committed some mistakes in answering. Either OMR sheet you have marked it wrong when you have ticked the answer correctly in your question paper, or your answer itself went wrong, so on and so forth. By the end of the day, make sure you have learnt up all your mistakes. If your answers itself were wrong, learn up that concept again, learn up those answers again, so that you're sure that if this question is asked, you know what the correct answer is. Analyze what all went wrong in your timing, how you implemented. At the end of 3 hours, were you able to complete the entire paper? So on and so forth. When you do this entire calculation before you go to bed on the same day, and you have done your corrections on the same day, learnt it up all on the same day, then you are increasing your accuracy rate to have better results for your exam. Most importantly, again, I'm repeating, do not spend too much time on each question. Maximum 1 minute is the ideal time. To continue on my tips, when you have to reach the exam center, unlike the JEE students. Here you have to reach your exam center. So it involves a lot of traveling, So make sure you have eaten your food. Again, please go through my previous session, my previous video, so you would understand what exactly it means to take care of your mind and body to be performing well at the time of exam. Make sure you reach your exam hall much ahead of time. This avoids a lot of anxiety. It gives you some relaxation because you're not stuck in traffic, you're not having any commuting problems, things like that, which adds on to the stress at the time of exam. I know, as it is, we would all have stress, but let's avoid as much as possible by following this. Once you get into the exam hall, they give you certain sheets to fill up your roll number, etc. All those details. Make sure you're focusing on what you're doing. Do not go ahead and think of what my question paper would contain. Do not go behind to think, oh my God, I had decided to revise all this before coming to the exam hall. I forgot to revise. No, don't go in the reverse order. Don't go in the fast forward order. Stay in the present. Focus on what you're doing because that is crucial. Your roll number goes wrong, you have already ruined your life. You are losing a chance there where you're tampering with your paper. So make sure your roll number and all your entries are correct so that you avoid mistakes, you avoid stress. As I already told you, avoid thinking about topics that you thought you should have revised much before entering the hall, and avoid thinking of what is in store for you in your exam paper. And the tip for NET students is that your order of your paper that you have to attend. For JEE students, I had said chemistry, physics, and then math. For NEET students, the order is biology, chemistry, and then physics. Because out of the 3 subjects that you have for NEET, biology has the most amount of theoretical questions, or biology has theoretical questions. Chemistry has a certain theoretical and numerical questions, and physics will have a few theoretical, but majority will be numerical. So attend in the order of biology, chemistry, and physics. Again, the secret is you attempt it this way, you're finishing it with accuracy, and you are saving a lot of time because you're not wasting your time on unnecessary calculations by going into the other order first. So please follow this, and those students who have followed this order have definitely proven that they have been successful in their exam. The tips that I'm giving for NEET students, again, you will have very easy questions. You would have slightly difficult or time-consuming questions again, and the very difficult questions. So that is common in any paper. So first, complete the very easy, quickly solvable questions in all the subjects in the order of biology, chemistry, and physics. But remember, as I told you, you're writing your paper in a physical form. So you would have to be very careful because your marks are awarded to you based on your OMR marking. Your OMR marking should be perfect without any mistakes because that is what decides your future admission process. So how do we go for OMR? The moment you finish the very, very easy questions, for assuming that out of 90 questions, I've given you an example here just for you to know, out of 90 questions in biology, you were able to easily solve 60 questions in the first attempt itself. Dear students, make sure that you're taking your OMR sheet and immediately marking the answers of those 60 questions in biology in your OMR sheet. What is the advantage? You are allowing your mind to relax. You are giving some time to your body and your mind to rejuvenate, to start recollecting, because the moment you're calm, there's a complete rejuvenation that happens into you, that what you thought was not, you are not able to recollect, slowly starts coming up into your mind for the next set of questions. So, biology, chemistry, and physics. In this order, you will first fill up the OMR sheet for the first 40 or 60 questions that you have attempted in biology, make sure you're looking at what is the option number and marking only or bubbling only that option number. Do not get confused. I'm sure your subject teachers would be giving you all these hints already, and you're already having a lot of practice in your coaching centers, but still, do not be in a hurry, but at the same time, be brisk in your marking. So once you have done that, you're making sure that your biology section of your OMR is perfect. Then move on to chemistry, very easy questions. You have completed it. Complete your OMR at the same time. Physics, very easy questions. You have marked it. Mark it in the OMR at the same time. So the advantage is, you know for sure that there is no mistake in these 3 sections for the first round that you have attempted. Your accuracy is 100%. Now we are going on to the second round. Now here, JEE is online, so everything comes as a panel, green panel, red panel, review panel. But here, it's a hard copy of a question paper that you have with you. So the moment you feel that a question is a little difficult, not very difficult, it is probably time consuming, immediately with your pen or pencil, create your own marks. I have said circle it. You can create your own sign for the questions which are less difficult, or probably the time consuming ones which are less difficult for you. Give a different sign or a different mark or a cross mark, dark cross mark against those questions which are very, very difficult for you. Now, what is the advantage? The ones you have completed, tick it. The ones which you want to attempt in the second round, circle it. And the ones which are very, very difficult, cross it. The advantage is you are having a clear-cut sign in your question paper, which are the questions you have attempted. And now in the second round, you don't have to search for your next question. You can come back in your second round to the time-consuming or less difficult questions and start straight away answering them. Now, here onwards, in your second round, the moment you finish ticking or identifying your correct answer in your question paper, immediately go ahead with that same question in the OMR sheet and mark it out in that. Because now you're doing the filling in between attempted questions. So you shouldn't go wrong. So it's only in the first round, you would go at one shot for biology, all the questions, chemistry at all the questions that you've attempted, and physics, all the questions you've attempted. From the second round, as and when you're marking your correct answer in the question paper, you would immediately mark the OMR sheet with the correct answer. So simultaneously, you're ensuring saving of time, accuracy, etc. And I'm repeating, please make sure you are checking the question number, the option number given to you and marking it, because dear students, OMR sheet cannot be corrected. If it is tampered, it cannot be computed, it cannot be read by the computer. So that would be a huge loss for you. So make sure you're not making any mistakes which would lead to tampering of your OMR sheet. So the third round we are going to, the very difficult ones, probably as I told you for the JEE as well. Now you're more calm, you're more relaxed, you have completed majority of your paper. So probably the questions which probably looked a little difficult for you or more time consuming for you might now start looking more easier because your mind is relaxed. So now when you start looking at it, you'll probably start feeling, yes, the concepts are coming up. You're able to solve it, or you're able to recollect the answers in biology, or you're able to solve the numericals in chemistry and physics. Go ahead and do it. Again, my advice to you would be, unless and until you're really, really, really sure of the concept and the answer, please avoid attempting those questions, because again, every negative marking brings down your total and your ranking. So do not reduce your accuracy by attempting more unsure questions. Only if you're sure, attempt it, so the accuracy will still be high. So my conclusion to you as a complete consolidated form would be, you're sure to accomplish your goal only if you're thorough with the NCERT textbook or all your textbooks that you are following for your preparation of your board exams. But more importantly, NCERT text gives you a complete format or the complete content that you would require for your JEE and NEET exams. So be thorough with every part of your text. This would be a dual advantage for you. Advantage not only for the board exam, but also for your NEET or JEE preparations. So be thorough. Make sure that you are taking the best coaching or the best JEE and NEET books that you're following for your content, for extra preparation and extra information that is required for JEE and NEET. Be thorough with that information, and as I already told you, follow the tips, follow a strict timetable. Make sure that you're consistently you're following your timetable with consistency and hard work and sincerity. And last few days, not starting on something new, revising the concepts over and over again, preparing on old question papers, which is applicable for JEE students as well. So the more you are accustomed to the type of paper, the more you're accustomed to the number of the time that you're taking, the number of hours that you're taking to complete your paper, it gives you a hands-on experience on what you would be facing on the day of the exam. So please do not ignore that, but make sure that your content-wise, you're thorough. Only then half of your stress comes down. Follow the tips and advice that is given to you by each of your subject teachers and your subject coach. I'm sure all of you will be taking coaching from Buddi Academy for your JEE and NEET. You have the best of teachers there, the best of faculty there who have great experience. Follow the tips that they're giving with absolute sincerity to the T, so that you would definitely experience success in your life. The moment you are against that, then definitely nobody will be able to help you during that exam time. So please take the tips, keep getting your updates from your teachers, keep getting the information from your teachers on the new content, what could be there. Every single advice, take it as in a divine way and follow it sincerely. Most importantly, which I had already told you in my previous session as well, discipline is a must in any person's life for them to succeed. And that is very, very applicable for you also, students, as you're yet to step into this world and face the challenges of the world. But if you have discipline in your study pattern, in your implementation of your studies based on the tips that your teachers are giving you, on the tips that I have already mentioned in my previous videos, if you follow that with discipline, then you would not have to be worried at any point in time about whether you would succeed with a good rank or not. Be confident about yourself. As I already told you, consistent hard work, continuous hard work will lead to self-motivation, which will give you a lot of confidence. So be confident about one's own self, because that is what keeps you driven and keeps you lively till the end of your exam. All your teachers, your parents, your friends, everybody can motivate you and keep giving you the confidence that yes, you can do it. But you yourself, if you are not confident, you are the one who has to implement it on the paper or the 3 hours of your exam. So your confidence is a must, and that confidence can be built with your consistent hard work and preparation and following the tips of your teachers and the advice of your teachers. And let me tell you, this is something which I developed for my own self. I'm sharing it with you. There is nothing called fail in this world. You know why? Because fail is standing for first attempt to infinite learning. It is a permanent, never-ending learning that you're getting. The first attempt that I'm writing my exam or I'm preparing a previous year question paper in my house, I look at certain mistakes that I would have done. I have not failed because I'm learning something, because it's my first attempt I have made towards something, doing something like that. And the learning that I'm getting is going to remain concrete and permanent in my mind forever, which cannot be measured at all. So there is nothing called failure. Remember, my dear students, every attempt of yours is only taking you one step higher and closer to your success pedestal. So please do not keep the word of fail in your mind. Take it in your mind. Sincerely, I have been putting in my hard work. I have been following tips with discipline. So this is only my first attempt to my infinite learning. I have learned from my mistakes and I'll make sure I'm not repeating it. So there is nothing called failure. Now, to give you a complete recap of what we have done for this 1 hour is, my dear students, prepare thoroughly from the textbooks and all other content books that you have on a consistent, regular basis with a clear-cut timetable. Follow the tips. Practice previous year's question papers and revise your mistakes before the end of the day. Do not postpone it for another day, then things will pile up. Do not procrastinate or postpone anything for the later. What you have discovered now, correct it immediately so it stays fresh in your mind. Follow the tips on the order of the subjects that I had mentioned to you while attempting your paper. JEE is chemistry, physics, and math. And NEET is biology, chemistry, and physics. Follow this order while you're practicing your previous year's question papers and while attempting your paper. And this would definitely help you to save time as well as improve your accuracy of your performance. Follow the instructions given by specific subject experts and concentrate on the topics that are suggested by them. I'm sure your subject teachers would be telling, concentrate on these topics more and less on these. Follow that. I did not have the time to go into all those details, but your subject teachers are the best experts to tell you which one has more weightage, which has lesser weightage. Concentrate on those topics and make yourself more and more perfect so that your answers are just flowing out of your mind onto the paper on that particular day. And this all should be done with a calm mind and with a lot of confidence on yourself and your preparation and the best teachers that you have who have advised you. So keep yourself calm and confident. My dear students, trust me, you would definitely come out with flying colors out of your exam, be it your board exam, JEE, or NEET. All the best for your exams. It's a wholehearted wish from my side to each one of you, and you will definitely rock your exams. Nothing less, nothing more. And keep waiting for some more of my sessions on some more interesting skills that we would be doing in future. So, my dear students, as I already told you, please follow the tips of your teachers. Have a look at my previous videos. Follow the tips I've given you in my previous video on overcoming exam stress. Follow the tips that I have given you in this session. And please do not forget to like, share, and pass your comments on it and subscribe to this channel, because Buddy Academy is coming up with some of the most exclusive activities and some exclusive programs for the benefit of you students. So if you subscribe to it, you keep getting updates on the wonderful activities that Buddy Academy is doing for you. So keep in touch and please go into the platforms of Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, where you would find all the activities of Buddy Academy. Go through it sincerely, follow it sincerely, and support us to help you support more. All the best and have a great day ahead. Thank you, students.